How is everyone doing this evening? It's your boy, Steve, Real Dave, No Gimmicks, assembled here with the crew for another episode of Dope Dynamics, the only show making you so uncomfortable, you gotta call your mama. All right, and when you call her, ask her to loan us a couple of bucks too, because we hurting out here in these streets. Hey. You know what I'm saying? We hurting.
Hey, we got Strike Pink in the building.
Steve, you missed the memo.
Where the pink ass?
There she is. There is the birthday princess, Ebony Queen, ruler of the manosphere herself, Kevin Samuels Undoer. Max, how you living? How has the day been so far?
Lit.
And of course, I am joined here by my co-host, co-heirs in the funkiness, which is social commentary. We got the Princess Bex joining us. We got Joe VEEE and my brother Cincy Star. Who the hell has all those alerts popping off right now? Your computer is about to blow up. How y'all doing? Y'all ready for another amazing conversation and great show?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Let's
Absolutely.
go.
Man, listen, I just got to say that it's been a great week over on the Holdup TV. Obviously, a great week on last week's episode, Friday of Enough Said Radio, was just a masterpiece. The guest was thrilling. He was engaging. He was sexy. He was all the things you want in this world. Right?
Okay, claim it.
But we ain't here to fuck around tonight, folks. Man, we got some fucking shit going on, as Berlin would say. Fucking turn your cameras on. Get ready. Motherfuckers are wilding out in these internet streets, man. Fucking the content has been popping off. We are talking about everyone's favorite. Well, I don't want to call him a beta, because that's not what I'm going to do. I'm not going to disrespect, man. I'm not going to disrespect. We're just going to have the conversation. But Will Smith smacked the shit out of Chris Rock. Fucking Oscars, man. And unless you've been living under a rock, it has been all people were talking about. I thought it would be dead by now, but it is the content that keeps on giving. You know what I'm saying? I've watched Kevin Samuel videos. I watched Jehovah's Witness videos. So a Catholic priest made a video about it. You know what I'm saying? My mama made a video about it. Before we get into this, cheers to y'all, and let's get it cracking. What did y'all think of the smack heard around the world?
So I was watching the Oscars. I did catch Questlove. Shout out to Questlove.
Shout out to Questlove.
Yes. But then since he rolls in, he's like, yo. I was like, what? And like, it's my first reaction. I did laugh. I don't condone violence. However, I think I was upset with Will, to be honest with you, but there's a lot to digest and dissect through all this when it comes to mental health, when it comes to just violence in general and condoning it, and just it's a lot to unpack. But my first reaction was definitely disappointed. But again, I want to see what everyone else's reaction is. The first impression on that.
Go ahead, Bex.
I think this was a long time coming. I was waiting for something like this to happen. I didn't think it was going to happen in this way, like this chaotic, and I'm here for the chaos. I love the chaos. But I knew I knew something was going to happen, because he's been bottling up and putting on this, this mask and this smiling face, because he wants for his family to be, like a unit. We want to have our shit together, and
right.
But like I said, his manhood has been tested, and this was his way of, telling the world, I'm a fucking man. I'm a man.
I'm a man. What do you think, Sissy? What do you think about that pimp smack, man?
That was a pimp smack.
I loved it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I loved every minute of it. I loved that he did it and showed some backbone. I love that he did it in front of the crowd that he did it in front. I thought it was a great moment in history. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I know my opinion is different than everybody else, but I am 100% there for that smack. Fuck it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Since you sent it, I was doing the show with Da Vinci, right? And I'm just like, what happened? Who smacked who? And then I'm trying to have a serious conversation about some shit right now. And then I went over and I seen the smack, and I'm just like, I spit up in my mouth a little bit because not only was it like perfect form, I mean, that was like perfect form. Like that was like, I'm God.
Hey, you know what it was like back in the old Western days? It was like that motherfucker that pulled off his glove and walked up to homeboy and just smacked him straight across the face with the glove. That's what that smack was right there.
And I agree with Bex, man. Like a lot of pent up energy. I have differing feelings about it. And but before we get into like our feelings and shit, I want to hear from everyone. Was Will Burt Smith wrong? Well, wait, before we get there, was the joke that bad? Was the joke bad? Let's get into it.
I don't think there's levels to it, right? I don't think the joke was bad. Apparently, there were worse jokes that were said. Had he not slapped him, would we even focus on the joke if he hadn't walked up there and slapped him?
No,
right?
I don't think so.
No. So I think it just brought it to another level for him going there and smacking him. But if he would have sat there and everyone was laughing, no one would have made it a big scene to say, "Oh, he called her G.I. Jane." It's just as simple as that. And I get the context of alopecia. No one should make fun of anyone's disabilities. At the end of the day, what comedian does not poke fun of disability, race, and all sorts of other subject matters? So let's not cry. I guess I want to say cry wolf, but let's not do crocodile tears. I don't know. That's just hard for it.
What about you, Bex? Like, what did you think about the joke? Was it like, did it deserve that?
When you say bad, do you mean like, was it offensive or was it corny as fuck? Because it was corny as fuck. Like, it was really corny, and I think Chris is corny, and he's been corny for a minute now. Do I think that it was like bad for him to walk up on stage and smack him? No, but it was a corny ass joke. Like, try again.
That was probably well, Cincy, you're living in your toxicity. I can see that. What did you think, Cincy? Oh, Cincy's muted.
Sorry, it was a corny ass joke for sure. Did it warrant a smack? No, it didn't. I'm not saying it wasn't worth it, but it didn't warrant a smack at all. I mean, there's been a lot worse stuff saying, but I 100% agree with Bex. Like Chris Rock, he liked to Uncle Two-Step it a little bit, so.
Look at the footwork, though. It's the.
That shit was so fucking clean. Like, it was so clean. He walked off with the Wild Wild West walk off too. Like, bro. That was the most player shit I've seen all 2022. I dare somebody to do something more player than that. I dare somebody to do that shit.
Yeah, so the joke is, I agree with Bex, man. The joke was just, it's Chris Rock and his waning years, man. I love Chris Rock. Let me not lie there. I'm not a huge follower of his anymore because I don't think he said anything joke-wise that has been relevant to me. He's a better commentator on things now, and I enjoy when he's on shows and he gets interviewed. But I want to be consistent here, right? My thing has always been, and I've said this to people, your mouth Will, write a check. Yoke ass cannot cash 100%. I've been saying this about people on YouTube. I've been saying this about you. There's a reason the 50 can walk around in that energy. You know why? Because he'll walk right past Rick Ross at the show, like, do something. I dare you to do something. I'll beat you and your whole crew up. All these people on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all you, I can't even use the words I want to say. All you punks that think you can say shit and you ain't gonna catch energy when you see someone in the streets. Let this be a warning to you. Will Smith is now the patron saint of I told you this was not a game, right? And if I was going through what Will Smith was going through, I could see where the smack, it was like, but there's one problem. Where was that energy when August Alstina the demon? Where was that energy when he had Jada Pinkett doing poetic, not poetic justice, Jason Where was that? You gonna go up and you gonna smack little ass Chris Rock? You know what I'm saying? It make it make sense to me. Make it make sense.
So would you have rather him smack August? Little ass August?
Here's what I would have rathered, right? Because I'm not condoning violence, you know what I'm saying, against his wife. I would have rathered Will got his punk ass up from that red table and be like, bitch, be gone. I pull the 8th card of diminishing horrors and I banish you back to the realm from whence you came, to the streets you return, and like slap it down like a crazy Dungeon and Dragon player and be like, back to my house and take Willow's sick ass with you too. Y'all can go be on.
No, not the kids. Keep Willow out of this.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna practice what I preach. I promise you, on everything I love, Will Smith can be in his peak physical shape. Like I said on Fanboy Modeling School, I've only taken one smack and never done nothing about it. It was in friggin' Wayside and I was surrounded by Crips. I was like, I'm gonna take this smack like a man because these fools are about to rat pack me out if I even try to hit one of them back. But if Wilbert walked up on me and thought he was gonna get away with a smack, no, we're going at it. And then I might forget that Jada's not named Jaden. In fact, I might beat Jaden up. Just like, you see what your mama made me do? Now somebody's gonna cast. That's just where I'm at. But I mean, what do you guys think, man? Like, should Chris Rock have popped back off?
That's a hard thing to say. That's hard. I mean, he held it together though, because knowing my reaction, I'm a very reactive person and I would react in a different way. But the question is anyone asking how Chris Rock is doing, right?
Right.
So that's hard. I don't know. What say everybody else? Because I'm stumped.
I'm gonna say it like this. Did he do the right thing? Did he do the right thing? He definitely did the right thing.
Well, it was assault, right?
I mean, he got assaulted on a stage, so he definitely did the right thing. But if we're gonna do hashtag RNS, and y'all can look it up if you don't know what them 3 words stand for. Nah, you got punked on the stage, bro. You got punked on the stage, and he kept it so fucking kosher that he didn't even cap on him after it happened. That's where I felt. That's where I felt like he dropped the ball. Right. Like, I understand you're not gonna swing back on him, keep the show going. Like, what the hell just happened? Type of moment, but Will just opened a can of worms. You could have capped on him the whole night, and no one was gonna say nothing about it because he had it coming. But he dropped the ball because he didn't.
Now, can we confirm, was he laughing at his joke or was he laughing at something else when he made the joke?
Laughing at the joke.
He was laughing at the joke. Okay.
He was laughing at the joke.
And I think it was just her reaction that made him react the way he did, to be honest. Because I don't think if she reacted or her facial expressions were that way, that would have not happened.
Yeah. I'll say this too, though. My bad to interrupt. I'll say this. He could have been, and you know how they do, like, it could have been a Hollywood laugh going into the joke. Before he processed what the joke actually was, It could have been, a setup laugh, a fake laugh. He knows he's on camera, so I'm laughing. And then it dawned on him, like, hold on.
It's like a nervous laugh.
Yeah, a nervous laugh. I got to do it because I know I'm front row type of laugh. I'm not saying that's what it was. I'm just, throwing it out there.
Yo, I got the.
What do you got, Steve?
I got no chill on this. I really thought my energy was going to be like low for this show tonight. I was like, man, I'm not going to have anything to say. I said anything I had to say on Fanboy Modeling School, but I was wrong. Yo, check this out. Here's my thing, right? So I'm going to put up a meme that I think summarizes it perfectly what happened. And I want to say I am down for a man defending his wife's honor. I'm down for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would definitely. I'm telling you right now, like, I would put hands on someone for Mrs. Holdup, like, straight up. And I know there's all that. Oh, your bark is bigger than your bite. No, for real. Like, she'll tell you. Like, I'm like, what'd you say? That's our avocado. Put that motherfucker down. My wife was reaching for that shit. I'm coming at you hard. You know what I'm saying? That old lady was she like, come in. Huh?
Avocado.
Supermarket over avocado.
Yo, check this out. We were in friggin' Whole Foods or one of those uppity places one time. Friggin' Meat Man was trying to get at my wife. I'm over there looking at like organic cheeses and shit because she upgraded me, so now I'm looking at stuff differently. I got the organic cheeses and I can feel my sixth sense. And I turn around and baby's looking at me like, get your ass over here. And I'm looking, the Meat Man's trying to fucking throw game at my wife. And I'm like, yo, my man, cut that shit extra thin and cut that shit out before you get laid out right now. Like, just stop it. But this is what I think really happened that night, right? I don't even think Jada was that offended. This is where I'm at today with it. I think Jada Pinkett has cornered the market on manufactured reality, right? And poor Wilbert is along for the ride. He is that guy that's like, I can save her, but times a billion. That's what's happening here, man. And she looked at him, and this meme sums it up perfectly.
Okay, explain manufactured reality, please.
Manufactured reality and manufactured response. So what I'm saying is that her entire platform, which I've enjoyed some of the interviews on Red Table, and I was actually happy that she had that going for her. Manufactured in the sense that her relevance at this point is clinging to the fact that she has to be stirred up in controversy, whether that's subliminal or subconscious or overtly present in her forward-thinking mind. I think that Jada Pinkett is pretending to be outraged most of the time, not about the joke, but I think that like the Oscars so white thing. Let's talk about like just think about that for a second. Take a step back. To say publicly that I am boycotting it, right? Okay. No one asked you, Jada. You're not nominated. You're not relevant. There are other black entertainers who are relevant and should have been nominated, and that's what that should have been about. It should have been about the people who got snubbed. Instead, I got to listen to her talk about whatever the hell she's talking about this week, and I think a lot of this is manufactured to keep the attention on her. I just can't see Jada as an authentic person.
It's just toxic. That's what it is. Bottom line.
What were you going to say, Bex? I'm sorry.
So you think she's an attention whore? That's what you're saying, basically.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, like, I know she has her Red Table Talk thing or whatever, but do you really think she values, like, I mean, her husband's Will Smith, like, you think she values that, attention that much for herself? I'm just asking.
No, that's a valid question because you have to be like quite an exemplary attention whore to need more attention than you already get by being Will Smith's wife.
And for being Jada, like we already know who you are, so I don't know.
Do we? Do we know who Jada is? Do we know? Is Jada okay? Let me, Joey. You win. I'm fucking fired up.
I got nothing. I mean, there's levels to it, right? It's like an onion. You keep peeling back, you get deeper and deeper and deeper. And I feel bad for Will, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know how many people read the book, but he's basically telling his story in the book. It's almost like a cry out for help. He's very mindful as a person. He's big on mindfulness, but there's a big cry for help. And I actually reached out to one of my male friends about this. I was like, hey, how do you feel about the whole Will and Jada thing? And I kind of put a little LOL in there because kind of nervous LOL, like trying to feel like how this person's going to react. And they were like, I guess he categorized me as like, y'all think this is funny when there's a bigger issue here. There's like almost a cry out for help, but people are just laughing at it. And I point that out because I recently, this is like digressing from this, but I recently watched a podcast called The Pivot with Michael Beasley. And he came out about his mental health and how he reached out to so many people and people just laughed at him. So I think this is a prime example of that. Like people are literally trying to reach out for help in certain ways, but people are just looking at it as the joke. That's another thing to delve into, but you know.
It's easy to look at it as a joke, man, because it is almost Shakespearean comedy level sad. Right. And
right.
I'm just a guy making videos with my friends on the internet. But from the onset of this entire thing, and again, opinions are subjective. This is all based off of what they've decided to show me, man. I think that, yes, Jada Pinkett is someone desperately clinging to not relevance. There's a clinical diagnosis for this, and it's almost akin to being a hypochondriac. I think that she is one of these people who is latched on to the empathy of others, right? Everything is about her, even when it isn't about her. Her love for Tupac isn't about Tupac. In my honest opinion, it's about the fact that I love Tupac the most. I've known people like this my entire life. And, you bring them up and she's like, well, I love them. Why didn't they invite me or get my information or how I felt when they made the film? Like, why the fuck should they? Who gives a fuck if you love them? Who do you think you are? Like, we got enough time for his mother, his friends, and not your ass. Because how can we verify that you're not some tag along?
But I feel like she latches on to people that need her, right?
Yeah.
We have Tupac. August needed her. In a sense, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
There's a common denominator here. There's a common denominator here.
As far as the whole feeling sorry, were we feeling sorry for him before the smack or after the smack?
Who, Chris Rock?
No, Will. I don't feel sorry for that man. I'm sorry, I don't. You knew what this was. I'm pretty sure he knew what type of person she was. They tried to fake like they had this, this image, and then it came out that they really weren't what people thought they were. And we heard the rumors about the whole like open relationship type thing, and they went with that. And I don't know, I don't feel sorry for him. Like, I get it, but you're a grown-ass man. If you don't want to be where you are, then go fix that shit.
Hey, that's something to say, because I think he's exactly where he wants to be.
Exactly.
And do I feel sorry for him? No. They're in an open relationship, so like the messing around, the whole August Alsina thing got blown out of proportion. One, that little kid should have never opened his mouth, because if he never opened his mouth, none of this would have ever happened. The problem is a lot of people only saw the highlights of the video, the roundtable video where they were talking about August Alsina. So y'all saw the highlights. Jada saying, I cheated, or not cheated, but saying that I slept with him, yes, and this, and then Will crying. But if you really watch the video, Will was not crying because his wife slept with someone else. he was crying because in that same interview, she was saying in that period of her life, she was not happy in their relationship. And so I don't think it was a matter of like Will being salty his wife slept with someone, because I have no doubt in my mind Will was sleeping with someone. But I feel like while they were supposed to be sleeping with each other and in their open relationship, they were still supposed to be happy in their situation. And when she broke down that moment in the Red Table Talk, August Alsina didn't break Will down. It was that her saying that she didn't know if she was still in love broke him down. And I think it gets twisted, you know, in the media. We all focused on she was sleeping with August Alsina when Will was focused on you don't love me, because we're both sleeping with other people, but we're supposed to still love each other.
Mm-hmm.
All right. See, I thought that was very thoughtfully laid out, and I agree with it. So you think I'm going to disagree, but here's where I'm going to say this, right?
Sips tea.
Sips tea.
Check this out. I'm going to respond to that. I'm going to answer Beck's question. I agree with Bex and I agree with you. And not to say but to add on. If Will Smith were a black woman and the tables were turned in today's climate, the internet would burn itself down with the way he is allowing himself to be treated and is in a relationship like this. My beef with this whole thing. Oh, hold on for a second. I got energy for these guys. This is not pointed at y'all. Every time I think about this shit, I fucking go crazy. If not Lizzo, because she's a psychopath. If Will Smith was on the other side of this conversation and he was sitting down at the Brown Table Talk and he was like, you know, I'm just more of a free spirit. You know, I just feel as if though I needed to have Willow's young friend who's addicted to substances, has medical problems and mental health issues, come over, guide her into my bedroom, blow her back out, and then lie about it, and then target the person through payola in the industry, trying to ruin that young lady's career. Yo, people would be marching in front of Will's house right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would be dragging him out and his career would have been over before the smack. I dig it that he's right where he wants to be because he fits the description of someone that's in an abusive relationship and partakes in the abuse. Will is codependent. He's looking for some type of validation from Jada Pinkett that a dead husk cannot give you. You cannot find that type of validation. My only issue with the entire situation is you don't get to do a show like Red Table Talk and then say, keep my wife's name out your mouth. You put her name in our mouths. She put her name in Chris Rock's mouth.
Yeah, okay. I've 100% feel where you're coming from, but we're looking at that as audience members, as fans, as viewers of that show. But if remove all the fame aside, because I'm being vulnerable in this moment and spilling my guts, does that give you the right to look at me like I'm not human? Because if they weren't famous, we wouldn't be talking about them like this. We'd be talking about them like we talk about one of our homeboys or homegirls relationships. Figure it out, but we're not capping. We're not capping on them. The only reason we cap on them is because they're famous and they came out and were vulnerable while they were famous.
No, I'm capping on them because they are two people who made a conscious decision, divorced from their fame. Because in reality, if it were just two people we knew, let's keep it real about the human condition in 2022. People can't fucking keep their mouths shut and they can't keep secrets. And every time a friend comes to you and tells you some dysfunctional shit about his relationship, motherfuckers are talking about it, judging it on a smaller scale. Their fame isn't what made this whole thing a circus. Their lifestyle and their lifestyle choices made it a circus. Even if we didn't have anything to say about it, they would still have to deal with the consequences of these actions. The only thing they have going for them is that they have clear thinking people like y'all who are, who are willing. And I really wish that I could get there and say this to them, like, yo, if it wasn't for people like Cincy, Bex, Jovi, people who want to believe in whatever the fuck it is you people are pitching, I would hope you would just go away, because that's where I'm culpable. Instead of just clicking past the video with Will and Jada's face, I'm like, just look at this motherfucker. He had a volcano. What is he doing? I click on it and I just sit there like, Will, stop jumping off volcanoes, man. Take your family to therapy. Deal with the issues, brother. Deal with the issues.
But hey, this is what I'm gonna say. How many people in real life, in regular life, the people that's talking shit about him, have fucked up shit going on in their real life, would have reacted the same way? The only difference, smack. Why not smack them, bro? Like, if it was a small group and this just happened amongst friends, you smacked them, we would have moved on past it. The only reason, in my opinion, that smack got obviously, I mean, because it was in front of the freaking world, but we're judging it because it was in front of the world. We're not judging it because of what he actually did, I think, because if, in our friend setting, if somebody smacked the shit out of me because I was talking about his wife, like, I get it, bro. We might scrap right here, but it's not going to be world news. I got smacked because I was talking shit about your wife.
For every action, there's a reaction.
If this was at the barbecue, the show would have kept going on. Nobody would have questioned it. The little kid would have been like, did Uncle Will just smack Uncle Chris? Like, sure did. Yep. Turn the music back on.
Yo, let me let someone else speak. Because go ahead. What do you think? Do you think it should die down? Because my answer is that, once again, I'm looking at it from a clinical standpoint. This isn't about the smack and him defending Jada. This is about two dysfunctional people pretending like
the whole family is dysfunctional. If you look at it, they let their kids. What did they do? They let the Willow ride off and live on her own, and she was like 14, 15 or something when she, So I think it starts from there, and I don't know. You put your business out there, so for you to sit there and say, "Oh well." People shouldn't have an opinion on this and that. You put your business, you monetize your family to be out there like that. It's just like the Kardashians. They're out there like that. But they're not out here smacking people. I don't know about Kanye West, but it's another story.
Scott definitely smacked a few people on the show.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I feel some type of way. I go into work every day. There's some people that but I'm not. If I go in there and smack people, that's assault, and I suffer the consequences for that. That's like if we're NBA, you're playing basketball, you smack someone, you fight somebody, you're taking out the court. You're not sitting there, oh, go ahead, go play. Second quarter, go out there. You just smack someone, you just punch somebody in the face. But you know what I mean? That's another thing. Like, was it addressed that I heard that they were trying to get him out of the room. I don't know if they were trying to, or if that's just rumors of him removing him from the audience.
What do you
like
mean?
I guess as far as him smacking him and still being able to sit there.
Denzel tried to talk to him apparently, and Denzel comes over to me, gives me some life advice. I'm gonna be like, thank you, Denzel. Thank you very much for this life advice, and you take that. But I don't know, the police were called. They showed up because Chris Rock is a G and he didn't press charges. You know what I'm saying? Like, Wilbert didn't have to go to jail that night. I think Charlemagne the God made a very good point, which was Chris Rock took that smack like a man, and as much as you could take a pimp smack. But also, Chris Rock did something that was amazing. He didn't make the rest of that scene about him because Questlove was coming up next. And a very important moment in history, what should have been a very important moment in history, was coming up next. And I know they tried, I'm just gonna mute myself for a second, recompose, because no, honestly, this is like, it's them being them, right? It's Jada and Will being them. Like, they came there and they made the show about them, and it was supposed to be about Serena and Venus's dad and the other daughters who never get talked about when they talk about their father. They made that show all about them.
Okay, so I heard some of the other jokes he was making, and he wasn't making jokes about, why did he feel the need to make a joke about her personal appearance and not do that with anybody else?
We can jump in this because I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I'm not saying that violence was the right reaction. What I am saying is, in 2016, when every person of color was boycotting the Oscars, there was one Uncle Two Step still cracking jokes about black folks in front of an entire white audience. And that was the same person that made that same joke just a couple of days ago.
Let me allow someone else to get into it, because I'm gonna shock you with some of the facts that I'm about to bring up right now.
I love it.
I got nothing. Share the facts. Let's get
Chris
into
Rock
it.
has single-handedly, socially done more for the black community than Jada Pinkett and Will Smith ever have. As an activist, as a donor, he has given more money to schools in Brooklyn and in the South. He has been present in his community. He showed up there because, let's be honest about this, right? The man had a job to do. If we're gonna look at it like that, then Kevin Hart should have showed up when they tried to kick him out. They gave him an opportunity to come, and he was like, nah, my morals, my ethics. Chris Rock is not an Uncle Tom by the definition of the word to me. But I will comment on the fact that he made fun of Jada, right? I think there's a thing that happens when you're familiar with a person where you assume they're not going to get offended. Right? Like, you assume that Jada's going to know that I'm joking because we did that horrible movie with each other. I've been over your house a few times. And I think that sometimes we want to transplant the conversation of race into every situation, but there's a very good chance that the dynamic was between three friends.
Yeah.
Right? And he made a joke, but it was a dumbass joke. I wouldn't want him clowning on my wife, saying if he didn't clown on anyone else's wife, but that's just the way I saw it. Like, I'm seeing people trying to champion this into a cause, and I'm going to watch it as they stumble over this, because once you make this a race issue, you have to prove that. You make a race claim, you got to prove the race claim.
I wasn't necessarily making it a race issue.
Not you.
I was about to say, I'm just saying, like, why make a joke about her personal appearance, but not keep that same energy with all the other jokes? That was weird to me. That is what was weird to me.
Because his jokes come at not the expense of his paycheck, but because of his paycheck. He gets paid to make those jokes. And I'm not even saying that necessarily he panders to the white audience. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that he's willing to make those jokes. And I agree with you, Steve. If they had to be friends, for Will to have been that comfortable to walk up on that stage and do that, they have to be friends. Because I'm just thinking in my own real life. If that was a nobody in my life, I'm not even going to give you the time of day. I'm not going to laugh at your joke. I'm going to ignore you. That's going to have a bigger effect.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like, we may have had this conversation before as friends. Hey, I didn't like that joke you made in 2016, but whatever, we're going to get over it. We're both brothers in the community. But you still going to pull it off? You still going to try and pull it off?
Listen, I hear you, man. Here's if I'm gonna assume the point that you guys are making, the weirdness of it. Here's what was weird about the joke, right? Why is Chris Rock still making jokes at the Oscars? Right? When are we gonna stop booking him for shit? Right? What is the shelf life of Chris Rock?
That don't
So
got
my
nothing to do with us.
well, my question is why does the Oscars have to have a comedian as a host?
Because it's boring and it's weenie.
Yeah, I know it's boring, but like, you know what I mean?
Something to laugh at.
Yes. Hey, okay. So
You know what I mean?
100% exactly what Bex just said. The main core audience needs something to laugh at. Our younger generation, as much as us older folks want to say they're soft, this and that, they don't stand for fuckery like that shit, like we do. Listen to what I'm saying. You will be hard pressed to find a young black comedian that's going to agree to tell every joke that a white man wrote for them. Chris Rock has been doing that for 30 years. That's why in the Oscar audience, he's still relevant because they know we can write a script for him. He's going to get up on stage and say it. Whether he actually believes it or not, he's going to say it.
Let me ask you this question, right? You brought up young comedians, right, and what they're going to stand for, right, and what they won't.
Well, I'm saying young people in general, younger people in general.
Now, I want y'all to know that I love Cincy like a fat kid loves cake. 50 grand, we peoples, we all that. But my expectations of what this generation will tolerate are so low because in actuality, the way we talk about each other doesn't get excluded from my mind when it comes to what they'll stand for. Here's an example, right? When Chris Rock is making straight up jokes about black people back in the day, you know who supported Chris Rock? Black people. You know what I'm saying? You know who's supporting Chris Rock now? Black people. Black people go to his shows. They're the majority at Chris Rock shows. The thing that Chris Rock has done wrong in this situation was one, he disrespected the man's wife in public and expected nothing to happen. So I'm still in agreement with you there. Two, Chris Rock has overstayed his welcome. That's what he doesn't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like the day has passed where people are going to laugh at shit he says. But I guarantee this, Will Smith wouldn't have walked up on Dave Chappelle like that. And if Dave Chappelle took a smack like that, you better believe that every August joke would have came out in rapid fire. And I don't think Will would have walked up on a white man and smacked him like that. I think that energy was for his own brother. I guarantee if Bill Burr was up there, and this is the same shit I say about Cats in the Hood, you will blast a black man in the head for stepping on your shoes, but will not stand up to a cop for putting you on the ground. You won't even show up to court for the hearing. You know what I'm saying? But you'll smack another brother. I guarantee Will wouldn't have had that energy for a white guy. He'd have did that thing he did when he was looking. He's like, "Oh, baby, we best to keep our mouth closed right now." Because you know who loves Will Smith? You know who loves Will Smith? I'm going to turn your point on you. White people. White people unanimously love Will Smith. Okay. And I guarantee he's not giving away any of that money that those white people give him for his blockbuster films, smacking a white guy. 100%. Will would have sat there like a fuckboy and been like, I'm sorry, Jada, you know, we'll work this out in the bedroom. Who we bringing in tonight? Am I wrong? Am I?
Yes. So,
What
do you think, Jovi? What do you smack?
I would agree. I mean, that's why I'm saying if we're putting race into it, I mean, had it been a white person up there, would he have done the same thing? You know,
I don't think a white person would have been up there making those jokes.
Bill Burr would have. 100%.
Making a joke about a black woman's appearance? No, he wouldn't have been making those jokes. Those are jokes that only black men are comfortable making. He wouldn't have dared make those jokes.
Have you watched Bill Burr's special?
He wouldn't have dared made those jokes.
No, he would have went there.
Yo, Bill Burr. Bill Burr
isn't Bill Burr married to a black woman?
Yes, and he roast her ass on the podcast.
No, he wouldn't have dared made those jokes about her appearance.
Uh-huh.
He
Yes. Yes.
Let me give you a Bill Burr joke. Let me give you a Bill Burr joke.
No, wait.
This is the same guy. This is the same guy when he was dating her and she lived in Harlem. Bill Burr had no problem bringing up a story about having to go up to the to go up to the hood. Bill Burr has no punk in him, but Will Smith has all the quit in the world.
I agree. He's not a punk, but by him being married to a black woman, and by him being a white man, I don't think he would have felt comfortable making a joke about a black woman's appearance. He knows about black hair. He knows about black hair, and he knows how black women are about their hair.
But
I don't think Bill would have been that comfortable making that joke.
But like rewinding that, like Chris Rock made a documentary about good hair in 2008, 2009.
He was pandering to the black community, mostly to black women. He was pandering.
So, yeah.
So wait,
I want to know your reasons why. Not just because you don't think. Why don't you think he would not have smacked a white man? Because don't forget, just a couple years back, it was in a different country.
Yeah.
But the white dude that tried to give him the kiss on the cheek, he literally smacked right in the face.
But that was not a celebrity. See, I'm using your line of thought on this, right? Will Smith is a machine, and he is the machine that recognizes that his relevance and his revenue stream comes from a particular group. So if we're gonna bring race into the conversation, we got to be consistent with this, right?
Let's be consistent with this. Chris Rock's not even on a half a level that Will Smith is.
So that means
he is a peon like the dude he smacked on the red carpet to Will Smith.
So wait, as you prove my point, Will Smith has more to lose. Will Smith does not care.
Exactly. So if he would have smacked Chris Rock in front of a million billion white people, why don't you think he would have just smacked the white person too?
Because you just made my point, my brother. He will not 100%. Because here we go. Let's get into it. Will Smith has a coon's spirit, and he's the type of coon that has gotten away with it for so many years. You know why? Because he says just enough black rhetoric to keep people thinking that he is Afrocentric. I'm
getting jiggy with it.
My man, he is a minstrel show, and I have been offended by some of the things Will Smith has done. You want to talk about treatment of black women? Look what he did to the woman who played Aunt Viv, right? Now, she may have been a lunatic, right? She could have possibly been, but where was the consistency for protection of black women when he openly admitted in that reunion that he handled that entire situation wrong? The reason I know he wouldn't have smacked a white man up on that stage is because the inner coon would have came out of it and were like, God damn, one day I might need to make Independence Day 3. You know?
Okay. I'm gonna take you up on that. And I don't mean to cut y'all other two off. First off, she came out and defended Will today. That same woman, the same woman you're talking about, came out and defended him today. Secondly, you didn't keep that same energy when you was talking about Uncle Wesley Snipes. I'm have problems with black women because I'm dark skinned, when we're not going to acknowledge that he smacked around a bunch of fucking women to get to that point.
So the same energy I have for Wesley Snipes is the same energy I have for Will Smith. Because here's the difference between the two of them, right? When we were talking about Wesley Snipes, I was talking about colorism and how people don't think it affects men. So that was the scope on that. Wesley, by his own account, has been brutalized by black women his entire life during the 80s when they were going through their light-skinned brother phase. So I'm like, here's an example of a man that could say he was traumatized by something. My point about Will, and remember, you brought race into this, and we're going to keep this shit consistent. We're going to keep it consistent. When has Will ever in his career had energy for any other black man that's disrespectful? Your man 50 sent him a text right after the Red Table Talk and was like, you need me to come over there? And he had an FU for 50. You know what I'm saying? He smacked Chris because Chris is small.
No. Nah, I don't think he smacked Chris because he was small. I think he smacked Chris because in that moment he had enough. But who the fuck is 50 Cent to Will Smith? Like you are trying to put irrelevant people in the same conversation as Will Smith.
Yo, since you're making my point, you literally just said a moment ago, Chris Rock is a peon to Will Smith. If we're looking at the mogul, the juggernaut.
Okay, and 50 Cent is a peon to Chris Rock.
So why did Chris Rock get the special energy?
He was just there at the right time. 50 Cent is a nobody. He wasn't even invited to the Oscars. He wasn't there to smack.
He got the right energy because punk niggas like Will always have strong energy for little weak men like Chris.
Why is Will a punk? I want to know.
My guy. I've been following this guy's hip hop career for years. You know what I'm saying? Like and this is when we talk about the pent up aggression, we got to look past Jada too. Will Smith has been the butt of jokes in hip hop for years. You know what I'm saying? There was a point where him and Kid and Play, like those three, it was a round robin. Motherfuckers were tearing them up every week, just killing them.
Okay.
Will has been in many, many places where people have disrespected him. Many spaces in the industry. All this talk about how he's gotten aggressive with people before, that must be with that other stuff they say about him, because he never has that energy for anyone at all. And I'm talking about pre-mogul. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about pre-mogul Will Smith. In my humble opinion, Chris got what he deserved, but I'm not gonna pretend like Will is a G. Okay. And he did some G shit. He smacked a little dude.
So if we're a group of 4 best guy friends,
right,
and your little dude friend, the littlest one in the group, gets on your nerves, you're not smacking the fuck out of him? Like, I don't give a damn if you're little. I'm little, bro. Like, if I'm talking hella shit enough to you to warrant the smack, and you're not smacking me because I'm little, you a bitch ass motherfucker.
My guy, when it comes to little dudes, I'm talking about a particular behavior that I see all the time with cats. I'm like, yo, you got energy for my little Kevin Hart friend? Let me move him out the way. Let me see if you got that energy for me. I'm not flexing. I'm just stretching my.
No, it looks like he's flexing. He's flexing harder than a mug.
Yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cincy, this is what I'm saying to you, my brother. This is what Will needs. He needs people like you to be speaking to him. But the fact of the matter is, I'm gonna save his life. I'm gonna be like, yo, Will, here's what you should have done, right? I want you to rewind that, get Thanos' time gem, jump in the portal, go back. Remember that night where you were sitting with Jada Pinkett at a bonfire and you were thinking about, doing something then. Get up off that seat, go home to your wife, take care of that first baby, the good child. Right? Take care of the good child. You know what I'm saying? And you'll never find yourself in a situation where we can compartmentalize, systematically break down your fall as a man. Because Beck said it right in our private group. Well, the problem here is Will Smith's manhood is on trial. And it's not on trial by me. It's on trial by him. He's the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
That's where we're wrong. And this is why I would say the decision for him to do that, whether right or wrong, doesn't lie in our hands as viewers or opinionators. It doesn't even lie in his hands. If he made the right decision, that moment will improve his relationship with his wife. And none of us are that woman, so we don't know.
Do you think it's going to improve his relationship with his wife?
This is what I'm going to say. There's so many ways to twist it. We don't know.
I'm trying to understand. Like, it hasn't improved thus far. So a smack to Chris Rock's face is going to improve the relationship.
But has he smacked somebody this far? Has he actually took up for her
let me back
in
up.
any manner?
Okay. All right. I'm going to let that digest and I'll come back to that.
Are you saying has he taken up for her in any manner before? So about 4 years ago, and this is probably like the most beautifully written post I've ever seen on Facebook. Will Smith came on with that "This is my queen" energy, and this is before anything broke, right? And he's like defending Jada, and this is when I was still on Will's side. I was like, Team Big Air, you know what I'm saying? I'm with you, Will. We're gonna fight off these trolls together. And he defended his wife's honor and their privacy. because it was still private at the time. This is when it was all speculation, right? And just for the record, whatever they do in their bedroom in
About
regards to that stuff. Say again, Bex.
he was defending her about the whole August thing or something else.
No. This was back like before the August thing broke. Back when people were accusing them of being swingers and stuff. You know, remember when Wendy Williams was really going in on him for a little while there? And he took up for Jada. And I was like, yeah. And then I remember the first time he was on Red Table Talk, and I actually thought that was like a transformative moment. I was like, listen to this man talking about how he's failed his wife. And that was him taking up for Jada, admitting his faults. In this moment right now, Bex asked the question the other night that I think is very poignant to your point. I don't think Will Smith got laid that night. I think after the energy of the smack wore off, Jada retreated to her side of the mansion in the dungeon with the leather and the straps and all that. And I think Will Smith retreated to his sad boy side of the mansion.
Hey, he might have, because I'm keeping 100 with you. Diddy's the only verified source, and if we go based off the sources, what it really means that they made up was that Will and Puff still bent this motherfucker over and played with his butt. So at the end of the day, I said it on air. I don't give a shit. I don't. That's a whole nother level of tea. He probably didn't, but that's what I was saying before. That's what I'm saying before. It's clearly not about the sex. It's not about the sex, or they wouldn't be in an open relationship. It's about actual in our head, the way we feel about each other. He probably didn't get laid, but did she give him some comfort? I would hope so.
And
I would hope so.
to add on to that, it is about image as well, because he's been in her corner defending her, but she honestly, as a woman, she's letting him get like disrespected. Like,
Yeah, I agree with that.
like as a woman, she did not protect him. She did not protect his masculinity for real. Like, she left that shit wide open for the world to just drag him for real, and that's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Yeah,
I'm over it though. I'm so fucking over it. Can we talk about something else now?
No, you said you were gonna win it. Don't come up here on your birthday. Oh, wait, what time is it? Oh, 11:27. I almost missed it. Okay, perfect. But like, don't come up here on your birthday, co-air in the show trying to cheat.
Until Saturday, but
she's pre-gaming for the whole week,
I'm the wrong friend, Bex. You know, if I was there right now, your birthday started last month. I'd be like, yo, we going out, son. We going out.
I'm just so over it though. Like, I'm over it. Like, I thought I'm gonna be upset because it's gonna be lingering on for a while now, but I'm fucking over it now. I don't care anymore.
Wait, let me make you care again, right? Because everyone's making valid points, and again, it's a great conversation to have, but let me reel it in, right? Let me reel it in. Jay-Z sucks. Let me reel it in. Right? let me reel it in right now. So for the two women on the panel, right? How would you describe, because I think you touched on something good there, Bex, about her not defending her own husband's honor. How would you, and if you were in her situation, right, all the history mixed in, you see this man risk it all for you, because that's what that was. That was a risk it all moment right there. How would you respond to it?
To the situation that just happened?
Yeah, like he goes up there and he defends your honor, Bex.
The mess has already been, it's messy already.
It's already done. The damage is already done.
Yeah, I don't think it's messy already. It's too messy.
Yeah.
Can't come back from that. She could try, and knowing him, because he's the fucking beta that he is, he's gonna be with it and accept it, but it's too messy. It's messy.
What about you, Joey?
I mean, I agree, but like, for me personally, I wouldn't want to have him acted out like that. So I would have, first off, her facial reactions gave it away that she wanted a reaction out of him. Okay. But knowing me as a woman, I would have told him, like, yo, we'll handle this outside of this. We don't need to do this right now. If I saw him trying to react to the situation, but him already reacting, there's no returning to that.
And even if she tries to somehow like make it right, would he let her? You know, him being in the energy that he's in now, like would he let her, you know, make the attempt? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you. But then seeing, and this is the thing, man, like since you made a good point, we're all assuming from our vantage point with our own ethics and morals, right? I think that these are two people that have shown that they have collapsed morals. But I mean, more specifically for you ladies, man, how do you feel about it? The smack is one thing, but how do you feel about it? Like the thing that we all have a hard time looking at, I think, because if this was just a poly relationship and it was two famous people saying they were in a healthy poly relationship, whatever that looks like, then you'd be like, oh, do you know what I'm saying? You found love in all of its facets, okay. But we're reading his book, we're hearing about the trauma. Two women sitting with Jada Pinkett without Will. What advice are you giving Jada Pinkett?
What advice are you going to give her? I think she's part of the issue, right?
Right.
And come on, let's not. I don't know. I got nothing on that.
Isn't it fucking messy? Like she was being messy.
She's part of the issue. Like I feel like there was a trigger. The trigger popped, and kaboom! This is where we're at, right?
Right.
He clearly wrote a book about him hiding behind a mask and peeling it away.
Right.
Eventually, you peel that mask away too much, you start to bleed. I don't know. It's just.
Shout out to Chris Rock for not bleeding out his mouth too. What do you think, Sissy? What advice would you be giving Will? You're his homeboy. You pick him up, get some maker's marks. He writes the book. What would you say to him in private?
You know what? That's because I feel like, in all honesty, he's him personally, he's beyond advice at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because, mind you, as much as I've defended, or at least attempted to defend him tonight, it couldn't have been me. It couldn't have been me.
Right.
That's in the openness. I fell out of love with you at some point. That couldn't have been me. I would have made. But the thing is, I'm not freaking Will Smith.
Right.
So I try not to make assumptions off of what I would do because I'm not there. At the end of the day, I look at Will Smith as a man who, despite all this bullshit, has done his utmost responsibility and respect to keep his family together. And what kind of man is doing that today, even with a great woman beside them? So I can't say that he's a beta. Do I think he's made dumb decisions? Yeah, absolutely. My advice to Jada would have been the same as the other women back in the day. Who was it? From Salt and Pepper, was it Spinderella that had a thing for him? And then even most recently, the other night when they interviewed what's the comedian, the lady comedian's name? I can't. You just talked about her talking about
Tiffany Haddish.
Yes, exactly. That's the advice. Your man stepped up for you.
Yeah,
show him respect. That's the advice that you would give her. I think they're both beyond that because I do think they're lost. But at the same time, like I said, I just try. None of us are at that point. I don't know how I would have reacted in that moment if I had hundreds of millions of dollars and people have been talking about me for 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Even if she does step up and show him respect, ain't nobody else gonna respect him.
No, nobody else will. But at the end of the day, because Will is a lover, that's the only person he's looking for respect from is her.
You think so? You don't think? Because today, I mean, not today, but that smack was that. I mean, he was affected by like what people are seeing him as.
Yes, but like Steve said, he literally put his entire career on the line for one woman. That's fucked him over a million times already.
Yeah.
He's made his stance known. Jada is his woman. Whether that's a dumbass decision or not, he made that clear. And that was that moment where, oh, okay, y'all don't believe me? All right, watch me get on stage in front of these million white folks and smack this motherfucker real quick.
Yo, okay, so that's
and walked off cleaner than a motherfucker when he did it.
Down. And yo, Lupita was my favorite reaction. She was Lupita, I was like, oh man, yo, that brings me to another point I wanted to talk about with you guys, man. All right, so I'm just gonna say this, man. Like,
I'm hungry.
You can't have
DoorDash.
So there's this thing going around. Mantis brought it up. Charlamagne the God actually brought it up first. Everyone's saying this is the blackest Oscar that's ever happened. So this is the behavior I'm talking about. This is what gets your Uncle Curmudgeon to come out right here, right? So you're gonna declare this the blackest Oscar that's ever happened because of dysfunction. Before I go on my tirade, the streets are talking. That's the hashtag. What do you think about hearing that this is the blackest Oscar?
Who said that? Charlamagne said that?
No. Charlamagne is fighting against that narrative because people woke up the next day and they were like, Oscar's so black. And then here's the crazy thing. Some socially conservative people who are always looking for a reason to attack people of color picked that up and ran.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
So what do y'all think? What do you think about that portion? Hashtag blackest Oscars.
We opened the door for that. I mean, oh my God, it's a lot.
There's levels. I don't know.
That's a lot to unpack because we are so connected to our Black celebrities. You know what I mean? Like we claim them as our own. So, like I said, it's a lot to unpack. You can skip me. Go to somebody else.
If we're asking did we win or lose in this situation, I don't think we did either. To be honest with you,
The blackest.
Joey, that's the serious girl dance face.
The blackest Oscar ever can only be given out if you are accepting of the preconceived notions that white people have for black people.
Okay, yes.
That's a fact. That is because there's been fucked up shit like that that's happened at Oscars before.
Yeah.
We're appalled because as a collective, we still want to have their approval and not just be us. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Wait, unpack that. What does just be us mean?
So the standard that white people hold us to, or should I say that we hold ourselves up to in front of white people,
right,
is not even an obtainable standard for white people. Had that been two white guys at the Oscars that smacked each other, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now because they know they don't fall to their own standards. Us, we have a big problem with it because we think the only way to fit in is to be them or our self-perceived images of who they are.
So how do you work that in with something like hashtag Black Excellence?
I mean, well, first and foremost, you can't, but if you're going to work it in with Black excellence, you take it on the chin. Just like I brought up earlier, like we go to the barbecue. Mm-hmm. You take it on it happens at the barbecue, you take it on the chin, you keep moving. At the end of the day, it's all family, it's all love. But we, because it happened in front of so many white folks, want to pause the whole fucking world and make it a big deal. When, like I said, if it was two white folks, they wouldn't even have thought twice about it. It happened, it happened.
Do you need to sip your tea before you speak?
So,
damn, how many tea bags you got in there?
Yeah, I got 3 in here because I gotta stop drinking coffee. Is the I had to break that down for the cholesterol because that might be killing my liver too. So it's like,
Is that caffeinated tea though?
no, so it's not the actual caffeine in tea that can harm you. There's something in coffee, my fucking luck, that will react to your liver. And that's why Joey's laughing. And when the doctors told me, I mean, first my wife told me, and I was like, who the fuck gave her the internet? Ruining my fun.
You're supposed to be in the kitchen, not on
Didn't I send you that Kevin Samuels video? Hold on, let me play it right now. I got it queued up in the back right here. That motherfucker. I'm gonna get to his. I got energy from Mr. Samuels too because he had the nerve to weigh in on this, and I've tried to be diplomatic with that group because I'm cool. I like Guapo. I like Guapo a lot, man. I respect that brother.
So you gonna be down with the whole group?
No.
Vex's face. She's like, you down?
It's
The whole crew.
It's called politicking. You think I liked every fool that I clicked up with? I'm like, I don't know. We really bringing Ashy Toby around? You remember what he did last time? But
Ashy Toby. Is that really a person? Call him out.
But no, I can't call out Ashy Toby like that. But to Cincy's point about like the reactions of black people, and I think this is true of most minorities in the way we view how white people are going to look and judging our own behaviors. And I would be in 100% agreement of that if I wasn't a reformed militant. And I know that a militant view of how black people should behave has very little to do with how white people perceive us, but in how we control our own image and remain disciplined. Because don't get wrong, militant brothers will be on top of your head. The problem is they can't be consistent. That's the issue we've had with our militant community. They cannot be consistent. And when it comes down to when we need them to step up and be a certain way, they're too busy getting white women pregnant. Right. And that's that's the issue right there. Right. The militant brothers. Yo, by the way, militant crew, you got energy for me? The Holdup TV at gmail.com.
This is what happens. This is exactly what happens.
And it's DJ Cincy Star at no.
It's right there. You see it in the bottom of the screen. Come talk to me.
We got energy for you inconsistent brothers out there. But we are very terribly worried about the image that we project, and so are other minority communities. I think that my issue with the whole hashtag Oscars So Black is I want us to stop celebrating bad behavior. You don't need to live to a white standard. You know what I'm saying? But like, just stop celebrating bad behavior. But at the same time, it's true. If it did happen at a cookout, we would all been like, Chris had what's coming to him. Chris, not to be drinking and talking about Uncle Wilbert's wife. You know what I'm saying? They got a sensitive situation and we would have shown them that grace. But my thing is like, people, please get off of Twitter. Stop hashtagging everything. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to make it a movement when it's not a movement, because the fact of the matter is I'm not worried about how your average white person looks at this. I'm worried about our true and tried enemies, not the morons, right? I'm worried about the Tucker Carlsons who have managed to work their way into the hearts of so many Americans, and then they pick up the story and they run with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and look, they're celebrating how some of us are celebrating it. I agree with Cincy 100%. I know y'all thought I was going to try to get him egged on again. And that's another thing. I like energetic Cincy. I like cool, calm, collected Cincy too. But now I know when we go out to eat, when he comes to New York in the summer, I'm like, give us the table in the back. We're going to be arguing a little bit here. But that's my issue with it, is like, stop hashtagging shit, man, especially for Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? Don't hashtag anything for that man. And Willow. Get those damn kids off the internet. Did you see what that?
What is
Too late for that.
Oh, it's not just Willow. It's Jaden too. And they're beautiful children and they're amazing kids. They're extremely talented and artistic and expressive, but they needed to be protected, right? They needed to be protected, and they need to, they're adults now, but I probably would have been like, you can finish this damn tour. Jay-Z paid us for this tour. You're going to finish. I don't care you cut your hair off. Get your ass up there and put that wig on, and we're going to get this money. And you only gonna eat 2 times today after this behavior right here.
Hey, that's the Joe Jackson coming out of you. I love it. I love it. Hey, but can I say this though?
Go for it, man.
Even if I don't like the hashtag because I feel like a lot of our culture, a lot of the things we go through, it gets stolen and twisted in the wrong way. So I don't like the hashtag. I'm with you on that.
Right.
But even if this moment in history never happened, it was the blackest Oscars to this point. We had, and that's not a bad thing.
In a good way. In a good way. I know.
Yes, in a good way. Questlove won.
Yep.
Denzel and Will both were nominated for arguably the most prestigious award.
Man.
About a movie about a black man on top of that. A black man that white people do not like on top of that. And Megan Thee Stallion is the fucking lead musician? You know, I love it. I love it. Yes, come on, bring it. If every Oscars is like that, minus the smack, I am there.
But you see, you're talking about our success right there. You know what I'm saying? Like you're talking in I'm not gonna say anything bad about Meg. She got those hitters out there. Nah, fuck that. Meg, I don't believe you either. And I don't believe the other dude. What's the guy's name? The one that allegedly shot her?
Oh, Tory Lanez.
I one day we can cover that. I don't believe either of them. I think that the truth is going to be way more comical, right? when it actually comes out. I think they was. Never mind. Let me say that for the other show.
More comic. I mean, it's comical right now to me. Somebody had a gun. Somebody got shot. How can we not figure this out? Like, are you serious?
Yo, the crazy thing about it being like, you're right. It was an amazing Oscar, man. And like, well, come on, man. We can't act right in front of Denzel. We ain't got that much longer with that, man.
Daddy
Just think about that for a second.
We don't have that much longer. What are you trying to say, man?
Denzel ain't gonna be with us much longer, man. You know, but this is a man that's never done plastic surgery or anything. Wait, what do you think? We got him for another 30? Hell no, we ain't got him for another 30.
At least another 20. Come on, that's Denzel, bro.
That crooked finger.
You think you can do this to me? God damn it.
Oh my God.
You want Korea energy? It's Denzel. I think I'd be on my best behavior because Denzel. You see that look he gave Will during the speech? That wasn't that I'm gonna come talk to you. That was like, motherfucker, didn't I help you launch your career? Didn't I speak up for you? You see this finger? You see what I've been through in my life? This crooked ass finger. Y'all can't behave for 2 seconds.
That was my favorite.
I thought I told y'all how to act in front of white folk.
Since he's that instigating uncle, like, oh, you gonna try to be on your best behavior because some white people. I didn't talk the young man off the ledge. He's like, you gonna listen to this nigga Steve, man? Because he's white folks around. Let him know who you is. I'm not giving you no bail money. All right. Let's move it to the next segment because it's hard to still talk about Will and Jada. But the question of the day is, folks, I'm gonna lead with the ladies. Has Will Smith ruined his legacy? Because this is what people are talking about. A few days removed, has it ruined his legacy?
No. Because if that was the case, it should have been ruined a long time ago. But
Well, speak on it. What do you mean?
Just how I don't know. I just don't see. For me, seeing the way he is with his relationship with Jada, yeah, it's open. Yeah, it is what it is. I think for me, as an outsider looking in on what my morals are, like I feel like there's almost like a lack of self-respect for him. Like there's a yearn for something, but he's still trying to find that out. It's almost like a loss of identity. He's still trying to find himself. So in that sense, that should have been gone a long time ago. But no, I don't think he's lost his legacy.
Wow.
When you talk about legacy, are you talking about him or his kids?
I'm talking about his personal legacy in the non-biblical sense, the way people remember him.
No. if that was the case, people would have been like, cancel Will, fuck Will, cancel Will. And I'm pretty sure some people are saying that, but for the majority, like, no, it's not ruined. He's fine. He'll be fine. He's fine. He'll be fine. I
He's a
mean, will
million.
he be fine? Like, mentally, he's not fine mentally, probably
Right.
not. But I mean, like, on the outside looking in, he's fine. He's good.
What do you think, Cincy?
No, I gotta agree with them. Because if you think about other celebrities that have gotten themselves caught into some dumb mess, what was that, Sunday? And we're on Wednesday now, 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Who's dropped them?
Nobody.
Who's dropped them?
Exactly.
Nobody.
And the
It
whole
takes
thing is
literally
talking.
less than 24 hours for anybody else to get dropped. You'll hear it if something happened on Sunday, Monday morning, every company that sponsored them dropped them.
Right.
We're on Wednesday at this point. No.
Mhm.
But that's because of the power he holds. And I don't think in order to cancel somebody, truly cancel somebody, that person has to care enough to where you say, we're canceling you, and they participate in the stoppage.
Mm.
Nobody loves me, so I'm not going to make nothing else. In that sense, I think he's a lot like Dave Chappelle. You can cancel me, but I don't care. I'm going to keep making shit. I'm too big to be canceled, so I'm going to keep making shit. That's Will Smith. You don't think that was calculated? If you think for a second that wasn't calculated, he knew he could walk up on that stage, do that, and it's not going to make a difference. He's not going to be canceled.
Did you just say it was calculated?
I would say even if it was calculated, yeah, like he knew it ahead of it. But at the same time, even if it wasn't, he's too big. He's Will Smith.
Did you just say he's too big and it was calculated?
All right, is it wrong? Is it wrong? Is Will Smith bigger than the actual awards show? Yes.
He's physically huge as well.
Well, I mean, that's between the other contestants of this show to figure that part out. Okay.
Since he's like, no comments.
Oh no, I get what you're saying. I agree with that, man. It's funny because I was watching what is it, the Good Morning Show, Good Morning America, one of those shows with all those people who aren't Al Roker, the one with Al Roker. I love that little old man. And they had this Hollywood insider, and he's someone that covers the Oscars, and they were talking about Will Smith's nice guy image being tarnished, right? And they were saying how his legacy has been destroyed by this. And in my mind, now this is where it gets a little dysfunctional on my side. I think that before real change comes in your life, you have to have that rock bottom moment.
Mm.
And I'm hoping that this is Will's rock bottom moment where he sees that he doesn't have to be the nice guy. He doesn't have to fit this image of this nice guy. Like, you want to be moral, then be moral, but you don't have to be a stepping stone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish he would have, like, remember when Eminem was going hard at Will? And I was just like, Will, please say something back. Anything. But he made Switch instead.
He is the nice guy, though. That's him. That's who he is.
He did drop a diss track on that album, but it was milder than the motherfucker.
It was like Buffalo Wild Wings and freaking Cleveland. What'd you say, Bex? He is the nice guy?
Yeah, that's who he is. He is the nice guy.
But does he want to be the nice guy?
That's who he is. He is the nice guy. Does he want to be the nice guy? Yeah, because that's who he is. And he's proven that time and time again. He's not the slap a hoe. He ain't from that tribe. He just did that because he's tired of the world fucking cracking jokes on him. But he's not the nice guy. He's not going to go on the slapping spree after this. I wish he would. I'm rooting for that. I want him to do that.
I am too.
Yes, he's not about that life, though. He is the nice guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. His woman isn't nice, though. She's not a nice woman.
She's not a nice lady.
You know what really would have saved Will from all of this? If Pac never would have died, everything would have worked itself out. I think no, and a lot of people have been like clown because he said how much of how intimidated he was by Pac and all that. But
Okay, I see where
Will
you're
has an image of Pac as a gangster. When Pac was dying, he was growing. They were both growing. I think they would have became friends, or if not friends, like cordial with each other, enough for him not to have like that on his back. Because at the end of the day, we all know it's fuck the entanglement. He's living up to the person that she really, really had a feeling for. Whether Pac felt the same way or not, that's the person that she's searching for, and Will has to live up to that moment. Not August Alsina and entanglement and we sleep with other women. He has to live up to be Pac. How the hell do you live up to be Pac? He's dead, he cemented his legacy.
You go to a really good school, you take up contemporary dancing, and then you join Digital Underground, and then you play Bishop and Juice, and you become a gangster overnight.
Hey, let me put Steve in the corner real quick, since he has hate for both of these men in a fight. Which one? Hey, no, don't take it back now, because we've all heard it. We know you don't like Pac, and we've been listening to you cap on Will for 4 months now. If they had to square up, which one are you taking in the square up?
Oh,
If they have to square up, I'm taking Will.
really?
Yeah, I'm taking Will. I'm taking Will, who's done fight choreography to play Ali. I'm taking Will, who is also grown up and maybe it was a suburb of Philly, but I'm taking Will, who had a different path. If Will has been picked on most of his life, I guarantee he stood up for himself a couple of times. You know why I'm taking Will? Because we never saw Pac's hands. You know what we saw? A lot of behavior. We saw a lot of behavior that we would call out in the hood, where it's like, yo, you spit on that guy because there was 8 of them behind you. You stomped out that Southside Crip in Vegas because there was 20 of you, and Suge was right behind you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's just the rah energy. I got you.
Yeah.
Now, in regards to Steven hating people, the Holdup TV is not aware of any of the claims that Cincy Star has made tonight about me having hatred in my heart about anyone. I've always spoken well of the dead, and I've always spoken well of the owner of Rockefeller and any other entity that wants to sponsor our little channel.
Y'all can join my Patreon for $7.99 a month. I'll tell you all the hating ass shit Steve has ever said.
Slander.
Yo, I honestly, man, it's because we talk about the Jada loving Pac thing, right? And I just want the people to have a right view of history. That's what the 4 of us are trying to give you. These women up here, I know they won't admit it right now because they never do when I try to press them on this. But y'all think about it all the time when y'all see Jada, subconsciously maybe. There's a chance that she felt the way about Pac, but just let's look at this dynamic for a second. Is there an equal chance that Pac was like in private? This is all hyperbole right here, allegedly. I'm just hypothesizing that Pac was probably like, yeah, that's just that chick I bang every once in a while, and I tell her that she's cool and I love her just to keep her there. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a thing. This is a thing, and I think if Pac was alive, you know how this would have benefited Will. Because he probably would have had a real conversation with like, yo, this is your husband.
Of course. He was a whore. Of course he was thinking about that.
What time is it? 11:58. We got 2 minutes, folks. The birthday is about to, it's not till Saturday, but we're, it's the birthday. Going crazy up here. What do you think, Joey? Do you think, come on, help me out here. Don't leave me up here by myself.
What am I helping you out with, Steve?
You really think Pac was feeling Jada like that?
No, it was. I feel like there was some love there, but
he was alone.
Yeah.
I think Pac has the same love that you two have had for every nice guy in your life. Like, oh,
he's not. I appreciate you.
Exactly. You cool.
But was Jada that nice girl though?
Exactly.
So you see now you really about to make me pop
no,
off.
I think the actual question that you're asking is backwards, to be honest with you. And I think that she didn't come to the conclusion that she has about her love for Pac until many years after he passed.
Mhm.
I think she
I
is the
agree.
person you're trying to make Pac to be in this question.
I think that Pac was more concerned with which one was it, Salt and Janet Jackson, who really scarred him socially. You remember that rumor when it was like she requested an AIDS test for poetic justice? He could not stop talking about that. And of course, I wouldn't stop talking about it either, but it's Janet Jackson. I'm like, yo, here's the test. Let's get to the love scene. Like you would have, like, here you go. I'm clean.
If he is as soft as you claim that he is, do you really think he had hoes like that?
Yes, women love soft ballerina, squishy men.
Yes, but you still had to be able to seal the deal. You be clowning him. Do you think he could seal the deal?
There's one thing I can give him. There's one thing I'll tell you. That man could seal the deal. He was on some, Pac was on some real, like, let me show you my soft side, because you're the only one I'm going to show it to.
Words.
He was good with words. He was very good with words. He
Words. Poetic
He was
justice.
And only on that. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Words can do a lot.
I'm telling you right now, man. The funniest thing about this is, like, we're talking about it, and Will, if you want to sponsor the show, we'll all take your money. But but the fact of the matter is, man, Chris Rock still has not said anything public about this shit. I find that odd.
Why do you find it odd?
Why do you find it odd?
Not odd in a negative sense, but I think that I find it odd in the sense that I wonder if it was such a profound thing that he's like, I'm going to respect this and not drag my brother, right? He could very well be taking the high road, or he could be doing the thing where he's like, oh, I'll talk about my comedy special and then I'll move on. Or it could be C. He's like, well, I did look like a punk, and what point, I don't want to have the whole world turn on me because I'm in the wrong here and I got punked out. But the people who are commentating on it, it's just interesting the things they're saying. Like a guy like Joe Rogan, right? Joe Rogan has never called himself an alpha male, but he's a man that can handle himself. You know what I'm saying? Like no one is going to walk up on Joe Rogan and smack him because he's going to break your arm. He's literally going to throw you in a triangle, break your arm, and you're going to regret getting up. That's why fighters never press Joe Rogan. They talk a lot, but they never press him. To hear him say, huh?
Nothing, never mind. Go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
I was saying, who's Joe Rogan?
Only the most famous podcaster who we are trying to get patronage from up here. Joe, please like for her jokes. She is obviously a comedy queen and she knows who you are, and we'll take that check too, especially for her birthday. We trying to buy her some shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like even Joe Rogan has come out and said that it was a weak move, and I wasn't expecting that from a lot of guys like him. Like UFC fighters have come out and said, "Oh, that was he sucker punched Chris." And it's
Weak move from Chris or from Will?
Weak move from Will.
Oh, okay.
How many UFC fighters in that ring, if they get an opportunity to sucker punch a motherfucker to win the match, ain't gonna sucker punch him?
Well, Jorge Masvidal just sucker punched fucking Kobe Covington at a steakhouse, and I thought that was amazing. He was like, "You said something that's for the same reason. I'm glad you brought it there for the same exact reason." Kobe Covington said something about his kids, said something about his wife, and these weren't bowl jokes. You know what I'm saying? He made outlandish claims about this man's ex-wife and his children, and Masvidal lost the fight. And he was like, I'm telling you, this is not over. And he's a fighter. So you think it's like when Mike Tyson says, yeah, I'm telling you, I'll be back. You're like, yeah, I'll pay for the next pay-per-view. Apparently, George Masvidal was not lying. He was like, no, I said it's not over. Kobe Covington is out with some YouTubers having a nice steak at a nice steakhouse in Miami. Masvidal posts maybe like an hour, like doing this whole challenge, what hood you from? With this black hoodie on. He's like, I'm from this hood. And he's throwing up his hood. He's like, where you at? And then later on that night, when Kobe Covington thought the cameras were off him and no one was paying attention, Masvidal walked up on him with a surgical mask on and a black hoodie and cold cocked him, knocked his tooth out his mouth. It was like, I told you this wasn't over. And then went back to his pad and waited for the cops to show up.
Hey, That motherfucker used to roll with Kimbo. He don't fucking around. He fought before he got the UFC. Shit, he ain't fucking around with you hoes.
Do we have that on video?
What of him punching? Punching him. Unfortunately, there's no video, just the aftermath of Kobe Covington, Mr. Make America Great Again, Mr. I Say What I Want, Mr. I'll take you down and hold you down for 20 minutes. And I respect, the ground level game. You know what his first words out of his mouth was? How did he find me? Like, my man, how did you think he found me? Like, he was just on his own Twitter, like, I'm telling y'all, this ain't people believe me, Uncle Curmudgeon. If you got beef with someone and he's posting on Twitter, nah, it's not over. And every question leading up to the event is, I don't know how many times I have to say this. It's not over for me. This wasn't just about one fight. This is not over. I promise you, this is not over. Believe that, man. But he took his bid like a man. If I was Will to cap it all off, like on my part, after I smacked Chris Rock, I'd have walked over to Jada. I'm like, eggs, woman, eggs in the morning. And then I'd have walked outside, waited for the cops, like, I'm waiting for my ride. Got in the car, I'm like, take me to jail. I'm not taking a deal. I'm a real man. I'm doing the whole bid. Give me assault and battery.
Period.
Okay, Steve. Noted.
And the reason that didn't happen was because he smacked a black guy. And that brings me back to my original point. Jorge Masvidal punched a white man and cops were there. And that white man called the cops. Chris Rock took his smack and he was like, this is another brother. I'm not going to do this to him.
I guess.
Hey, you can't be no snitch, bro.
What the fuck?
I only said that because I knew it was going to fuck with you. That's the whole reason I brought this conversation up, because I knew it was going to be in two different places on this one. Right?
I'm just saying, it's like that Boston comedian. So I got to send you guys this link. There's this old Boston dude they bring on a podcast, and all he says is, ba, 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 be a real man. And when they had him say one time, if you kill someone and the cops come get you, don't take the plea deal. Be a real fucking man. Do it all the time. And I was like, that guy gets me. That guy gets me. Yo, did y'all have fun tonight? Bex, are you good and hungry and tipsy right now? Because it's not your birthday, but
what are you eating, Bex?
Yeah, what the hell are you eating?
Gummy bears. I didn't want to go like heat up food because
she's like, it's one moment.
Bex was eating no gummy bears and she's like, I don't give a fuck about these motherfuckers.
I'm over here like taking selfies and everything.
Oh,
Anybody who wants to close us out? Get us out of here, man. We're at the 2 hour mark. Who wants to shut us down?
How do I shut it down?
I mean, a closing statement, young lady. Happy 22nd birthday, by the way. And do you want to close out the show and give shouts outs, tell everyone who we are, where they can find us? And Will, I ain't scared of your ass. I'll fucking give you Cincy's address and I'll meet you there, you bitch ass motherfucker.
Oh, is this recorded?
Where we at? We in Greenroom? We in Greenroom, right?
Oh, yo, by the way, those people over in Greenroom, besides our friends, were so mad at us. I looked over at the chat and one guy was like, so we got to come in here and listen to y'all talk about this? You ain't going to pick on nobody?
Wait, what they mad for?
Because they wanted to hop on call and put their 2 cents in.
That's not how this shit works.
Oh my God. And then 38 minutes ago, Steve goes, I'm going to take calls in a bit. And now we're ending the show.
Oh, you said that, Steve?
Yeah, I was like, hey, man, while you waiting, hold your breath, right? And jump up and down on one leg. Don't you ever come up in here trying to tell us how to run our show.
First of all, this show is called Dope Dynamics with Bex, Josie, and Cincy. You stay your ass over there in fucking Greenroom and you listen to what we got to say, okay?
No, not you, D. D, if you wanted to jump up right now, I would drop the link. Any family members, but when random people come up in here talking about, yo, play this, play that, after I made a long
Sabrina Carpenter. Let's go.
Yo, y'all didn't even notice. I kicked someone out of Booty Pop and Shaking Friday night last week. Someone came in and they were just like, "Man, the vibe isn't right." I'm like, "Nah, motherfucker. Now the vibe is right." Anyway, well, let me see. No, it's just D. If you want to jump up and give us your thoughts, I'll send you the link before we shut it down. Because Jovi and Beck are ready to get drunk.
Did y'all plan to wear pink?
No.
No, it's just the energy around here. You know.
Yeah, and everybody got the memo, but fucking Steve.
Well,
Because I fired all my interns. They were eating too much fucking food up in the studio.
On Wednesdays we wear pink, Steve. Okay.
Don't clap your hands at me like you from Harlem, Bex.
I'm from DC, boo. So we clap all
Yeah, I'll say one thing about DC. Like your boy always stays right side. So there's a couple of hoods I've gone through before where I'm like, usually I'm like, I'm from New York. You motherfuckers think I'm scared? I'm from New York. I was in DC. I'm like, I'm from New York. Like, you tell me how to get to the train station. Trying to catch that Amtrak so I can get home. All right, good. This is crazy. I think this has been our best episode yet. We angered some people in Greenroom. That's when you know you pop the passion, right? When people, what y'all think because it's your show, you can run the show. This is Green. This is exactly why I'm an inch away from pulling all the content off of Green. I never dealt with this type of shit at Spoon. Just little weirdos coming over, but I guess the little weirdos at Spoon were bad. They're like, "You want to see my dick?" I'm like,
whoa, what? What?
I'm specifically talking about your show, your former show with Tree Confessions. I'm like, yeah, we got an adult vibe going on in here, and then someone comes in, yeah, I fart, and I'm like, what the? Who let this guy in the room? Who is this guy?
This guy.
All right, I'm gonna get canceled. Go ahead, Beck. Get us out of here.
What's up, everybody? This has been Dope Dynamics with your boy Steve, your girl Princess Bex, your girl Joe VEE, aka Leilani Nee. You fuck with her, you gonna have to deal with me.
Period.
And your boy Cincy Star. After last night, girls try and get in his car.
Hey. Whoa.
You were born for this, Bex.
And we are Dope Dynamics because we are dope as fuck over here, okay?
Hey.
Thank you for coming to support us, and we are outie. Bye.